Are you ready to live your dream? Motivation, inspiration, and passion. That's what it takes to make dreams come true. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show. Our guests will share important tips, insights, and knowledge to help you fulfill your dreams of success. Here's your host, actress, author, entrepreneur, Nadia Sahari.
Hello, everyone. This is Nadia Sahari with the Nadia Sahari Show. Sit right down, relax, enjoy the show. We have an interesting guest for you today. All my guests are wonderful, interesting, and informative. My show is about dreams, about you wanting to be an author, acting in a movie, getting a record label, or maybe having your own business. The dream we all have. How do you do it? What do you do? What should you do? That's why I invite guests to this show to share their secrets, their journey, and their challenges. How did they do it? How do they maintain it? How do they keep being successful? Do they fall and come back up? What do they do? My guest today is a former LA police officer, retired, and he is now a filmmaker. I would like to introduce to you Michael C. Lopez. Welcome to the Nadia Sahari Show, Michael. I'm so thrilled to have you on my show.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I was looking forward to it.
I was too, and because I read that you were a former police officer, and
yeah.
I think that is wonderful. I had two brothers. I have two brothers who are retired from Detroit Police Force SWAT team, and yes, for 30 years. So I'm glad. that was a worrisome position.
Yeah, it can be. It can be very stressful, especially for the spouse, your partner.
Oh,
very, very stressful.
Yes, very stressful. I don't think I could do it. It was hard to have two brothers doing it. But let's talk about now. Would you like to tell us what your inspiration was, and when did it happen to become an LA police officer?
Well, it actually happened way back. I guess about 1991.
Mm-hmm.
I had been in the ministry for about 8 years, and then after the 8 years, I realized that my calling was not the ministry; it was in music, and I needed to find something else to do to make a living. So the LAPD was having a hiring push,
mm-hmm.
and so I applied, got in, and LAPD officer for 14 years. Most of the time, I did on the street. Did a little bit of undercover work, narcotics, vice. But most of my time was spent on patrol.
That's what my brothers did, undercover narcs.
Yeah. A lot of fun, actually, to do it right.
Yeah, they disguise themselves.
Yeah.
With beards and wigs and hats.
No, I didn't quite do that, but
yeah, they did in Detroit.
Yeah. We also used to go into the. I also worked the ABC detail, which is the alcohol and beverage control detail, and we would go into the bars to see if there was any violations of the alcohol laws. And that was a lot of fun, too, because you always meet someone who is a little drunk, a little brave, thinks he can take the entire LAPD on, and it was a lot of fun.
Oh, yes. I can imagine what that's like. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Well, so you retired from L.A. Police, and what made you decide to become a filmmaker? How did that happen?
Well, to be honest with you, I'd always wanted to do some kind of writing. As far back as junior high school, I was writing short stories, and in high school, I would write some skits for the plays and things like that. And I even went to college as an English major because I wanted to be a good writer. And then I got involved in making films. I wrote a film, but it didn't work out. Completely crashed. I lost my shirt on it. And I decided to give the thing up. I said, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to get a regular job and forget about all this creative stuff. Right? So last year, I got some really bad news. A doctor told me I had 2 years to live. So I I thought to myself, you know what? If I've only got 2 years to live, I am going to make it count. And I'm going to do what I've always wanted to do. So I wrote a movie, a short film, and I did it. I filmed it. And then, fortunately, the doctor told me after I made the movie that I wasn't going to die in 2 years.
Oh,
I was okay.
man. Are you kidding me?
I kid you
They
not.
told you you were and then told you you're not. Oh, my Lord. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Bless
I felt like
your
King
heart.
Hezekiah, I tell you, yeah. So at that point on, I decided, you know what? I'm not going to make a legacy film where it's the last thing I do before I die so that people remember me. I'm going to make this my life. And so I've been writing short films, and I've been filming them and directing them and producing them on my own penny for the last 2 years now. I've got 5 under my belt. I'm about to shoot another one next week. I think this is what God wanted me to do. When he told me not to be in the ministry anymore, this is what he wanted me to do. I guess like my friend said, forward the kingdom through film.
Yes.
And so that's what I've been doing.
That's right. I love that. That is really, really, really perfect. And I saw one of your shorts, Emily. You want to tell us about that? Tell us about what was your inspiration with that and who wrote it, and tell us about the filming.
Okay. Well, I had a friend of mine. He's a playwright from way back, and he wrote this play about this young girl and old guy and how they became friends. And so I liked the story so much that I filmed it. I produced it, I filmed it, and I put it out on all of my media platforms. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody saw it and liked it so much, he said, "I want to hire you to make me my next movie." And he said, "All I know is I want you to call it Emily. You can do it whatever you want. Just make it a Christian movie." So I sat down, thought a few minutes, and I wrote the thing. I wrote Emily, and then I got my cast together. I ended up having to do most of the crew work myself. I directed, I did the camera work, I created the sets and the costumes, found all the locations, because I was bound and determined to make this thing work. Mm-hmm. And then I shot it. And you saw the final product.
I did. I saw it, 21 minutes, and I did watch it today, and I was really impressed. I have to tell you that it really touched me at the end. I don't want to say what happened because I want people to see it for themselves. But the end of it made me cry, and that was good.
So good to hear.
In 21 minutes. And I followed it. I listened to it. And I know Ron Colbert.
Oh, you do?
I sure
Seriously?
do. Yes, I do.
Oh, wow. What a small world.
Yes. Filmed and edited a music video for a friend of mine. It was a Christmas video. It's on YouTube. It's called Who Put the Mary in Merry Christmas?
No.
So she wrote the song and everything. And it really came out very, very well and very funny. It's really cool. So you'll have to look at that. It's on YouTube.
Well, I definitely will.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny you mentioned songs because the next project that I'm shooting next week, I wrote the music for. I wrote the song. Uh-huh. I'm going to be producing it as a single next week also. I got myself a real good singer to sing it for me. It's going to be really good. I'm really happy. I really feel like God has blessed all my efforts so far, and things are beginning to really take off at this point in my life. And I'm really happy about it. But, when you're in God's will, it all kind of works together.
Yes. I was going to say, when you are doing God's purpose and you're doing the destiny that he's given you, the doors open wide, and they never close.
No,
and
they don't.
No, they don't. If they close, you close them. God doesn't close them. He doesn't open them and close them. And so I've been an actress for 10 years, movie in a theater with Band Slam, Lisa Kudrow, and David Bowie. I've been on Friday Night Lights episodes. I love acting. That was my dream. And God opened that door for me, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm back because he held it open. So I'm going through it again.
Well, why don't you send me a headshot then we can see what we can fit you in.
Oh, okay. Okay, that'd be cool. I really liked your short, and I was impressed with it. And what are you going to do with that? How are you going to market it?
Well, as soon as Ron is done adding a couple of little tweaks to the ending,
Yes.
we're going to start entering it into festivals and do the festival circuit. I'm also going to try and organize a showing of different people who've done short films but haven't had a chance to premiere them.
Uh-huh.
And I figured we could all get together, do 4 or 5 of them, and rent a hall and have some kind of a really nice premiere for our work.
Cool.
But
Well,
but my main goal right now is to get into the festival circuit and get that thing exposed.
Yes. Well, let me tell you, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to be right back. So don't go away.
I won't.
Get locked in to the Nadia Sahari Show and achieve your dreams today. Listen in at the NadiaSahariShow.com. Listen to some amazing people just like you find their way in life with great uplifting stories, problems they dealt with, and get to understand what makes them tick. It's the Nadia Sahari Show. Great interviews, touching feelings. Whatever talk you need, you're sure to find it right here at the Nadia Sahari Show. Grab it, do it, love it, and get excited today.
And we're back with Michael C. Lopez, former LA police officer, now filmmaker and writer and director of photography. I saw that on your short today.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wore a lot of hats.
And I understand that because I did that. I wrote and filmed a web series, and I wore a lot of the hats, and I learned a lot. It was interesting, and it was fun, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really like it too.
I do too. So let me ask you, what about you? Is there anything about you that we don't know, that we should know?
Well, let's see. I've been in the ministry. I did that for a while. I was a police officer. I'm making films now. Well, I as a writer, I have a lot of different ideas floating around. One thing I'd like to do is be able to find someone who can help finance a feature that I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, at this point, I'm really happy with what's going on with my life.
Okay. Good. Let me ask you, who was your biggest influence in being a filmmaker?
Well, surprisingly enough, it's Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of like my YouTube mentor on how to make a film. I've watched his movies, and the way he handles the stories is something that I really, really like. It just really appeals to me, his method of storytelling, and the way he puts it on film. Just amazing. So I don't know much about his personal life, and I probably don't want to. but as far as the filmmaking talent goes, I think at this point he's been the biggest influence in my filmmaking career.
That's incredible. I just interviewed his father a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yes,
okay.
I did. Tony Tarantino. What a guy.
Yeah.
He's a character. He is talented, like unbelievable. Yes, the show is on my website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Take a look and listen to him. He's amazing. It was a great show. And he talked about film. They've been doing film in his family for 80 years.
Wow.
Yes. So there's where Quentin got his start. Yes. So what valuable advice would you give our listeners if they want to pursue a dream career like yours as a filmmaker?
Well, the most important thing, whether you're going to do filmmaking or whatever it is you want to do, is you got to just make a decision. This is what I'm going to do, and don't quit. Because no matter what line of work you decide to get into, there will always be the temptation to say, you know what, this isn't worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Or there will always be someone who says, Mike, do you really think you can do this? I don't know how many times I've had people tell me, Mike, maybe it's not for you. But, if you want it, you just got to put your mind to it.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, maybe you might have to get a job to pay the bills, but when you get off duty, do what you got to do to get that dream going.
That's right.
And,
I agree.
and do one thing every day towards your goal.
Perfect.
Even if it's writing one page or whatever.
That's right.
That's you got to do it.
Yes, you sure do. And that's the only way. Baby steps and get your feet wet a little bit at a time and go for it and move on. Go forward and do it. Have the
That's
passion.
Right.
Yep. I admire you for that.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid. Yes. Yes. One of my guests said something perfectly, and he's a film producer too. And he said, the lack of knowledge is fear.
Yeah.
And that is great. So,
and you think about it. Once you learn how to do something, you won't have to be scared of it anymore.
That's right. So when you write, do you use Final Draft? Yeah. Do you use Final Draft? Yeah,
as a matter of fact, I use the old first version of Final Draft.
Uh-huh.
I've never updated because it's just. I used to have an agent that told me, Mike, don't even bother with the programs. Just set your tabs and write. So whether you set your tabs on the Selectric or whether you buy Final Draft and put it in your Mac Pro,
yes.
Just do it.
I've heard that Movie Magic was good too.
I've never used it.
I haven't even seen it, but I've heard a lot of people swear by it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've only ever used Final Draft.
Yes. Cool. Well, good. That's right. I mean, writing is something else. Once you start, boy, you just can't stop, and the thoughts keep on coming. And
that's right.
I love it.
And keep doing it. Because it's a skill.
Yes.
That you can learn, teach yourself.
Yes.
And then once you got the basics, the structure down, then you can let your imagination take you to places you've never been.
And it's incredible how that happens.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I know. Once you sit down and start writing, that brain just keeps on, and you get all these ideas. And I remember when I was writing my book, I think I ended up writing 5 books because I had all these ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's right. Well, Michael, it's been a wonderful, wonderful pleasure. Where can our listeners connect with you? And how can they see your work?
There's a couple places. You can go to my YouTube page and see the different films that I've made. I've also actually done some fight choreography, too. So that I got a film clip in there, too. It's Michael Charles Lopez. That's the website. That's the YouTube page. And then they can also go to my Facebook page, Lopez Entertainment.
That's where I saw your short.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that has all of contact information, the different movies I've done, advice that I've received and given out, and things that I've seen, that pertain to filmmaking. So those are 2 ways they can reach me.
Oh, good. I'm so happy for you. I'm proud of you, and I'm so happy you're doing this. And I wish you a blessed success.
I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
You're welcome, and thank you for being on my show. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank my guest, Michael Charles Lopez, for being on my show and for talking about his former life as the LA police officer, now turning filmmaker. And it is Christian-based and wonderfully done. And you can see the 21-minute short on Lopez Entertainment page on Facebook. I want to say that we learn from everyone. That is the key. We do not know everything. We will never know everything, but we learn from people like Michael. We learn what to do and what not to do, how to do it, how he did it. And I love that. I love getting this education. And that's what my show is: motivation, inspiration, and education. And I'm so happy to do this for everybody who has a dream, and we all do. So don't give up on your dream. Do not let anyone keep you from living your dream. Live your dream. Do what you want to do, and do it with passion. Are you living your dream? Thank you for listening. Tune in next Tuesday. God bless you all.
Thanks for tuning in with Nadia and her guests. For more info, episodes, and connection, please visit our website, thenadiasaharishow.com. Share episodes with your friends. Follow us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Instagram, and most importantly, never give up. Live your dream.
Latin Connection Magazine is a family magazine featuring people of influence, cultural events, and traditions, recipes and photos of Latin food, Hispanics in business. Plus, get news on Latin festivals, Latin entertainment, and Latinos in the fashion industry, and see photos of Latinos in action all over the U.S. Conoce tu vecino y mucho más. We invite you to share your special event with us at LatinConnectionMag.com. Latin Connection Magazine. Conexión Latina y mucho más. Latin Connection Magazine. It's for anyone and everyone to enjoy, no matter who you are.